Hey guys, it's Saltloony with another video. This time is going to be a 3-month review for the Mako 12, and I'm going to talk about the things I dislike about the kayak, or I'm going to list the things I dislike about the kayak. And if this video helped you out, guys, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 mark of subscribers to monetize my channel, and every little bit helps. So also smash that like button down there. I just want to let you know that overall I'm very happy with the kayak, but I still wanted to point the things I dislike about the kayak for the people who are actually looking into. I know at this price point now they have more options available, so maybe this can help you make a decision, and hopefully my video helps you out. So let's get started. So the number one thing I hate about this kayak, or I should say dislike about the kayak, is storage. So as you can see, this has actually 4 hatches, one big hatch in the front, and I have one hatch underneath the seat, and there's another hatch on the other side, and one hatch here in the back. Okay, so why is it a problem for me? The hatch in the front, actually, if you look at the kayak, it actually is higher, or yeah, much higher in the front and in the back, and is the lowest in the center. And what it does is basically the inside of the kayak has basically has no storage, and with all the scupper holes running in the middle, you can't really store anything inside. So it came with the bucket and a little tackle box. You have to remove that in order to fit this battery box, a waterproof box in there. But if you wanted to carry a spare paddle in there, I tried to put this in. No way this paddle goes in there. So pretty much this whole storage area is kind of useless. Now there's 2 more small hatches underneath the seat. I'm glad they included that, but you can't really do anything. You can't really use it because it's underneath the seat. Maybe they have, maybe they included it. In my case, it actually helped me out running the wires for my LED lights. But if you're not doing anything like that, it's kind of useless for you. There's one in the back, right here. Now you can see, if you can see my setup, if you have things, if you're sitting back here, accessing that storage back here, it's going to be hard. So, so to me, it's useless. Now, if you don't fish like I do, if you don't carry live bait with your bucket in here, so you can actually put a milk crate, and then you can have your tackle box in here and stuff like that. So for people like me who carry buckets in the back and stuff like that, that takes up a lot of space, so you're left with hardly any space. So my solution to that is my solution to creating this underseat storage. So when I'm carrying those buckets in the back, I can use this for my tackle box. So that's and there's a separate video for this. You can watch that. If you do a search on my channel, you can watch that video on how I created this underseat storage. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Alright, the number 2 problem I see with this is there's 2 ways to actually attach your seat. So the seat actually sits on the track, and one way to do it is actually leave these bolts on. So they're full bolts. So you can leave this on and then slide it from here. Now when you try to slide it there, this thing actually comes in the way. Actually bumps. You can actually see it. This thing actually bumps every time you slide it. And so it's not very easy for you to slide it. Another option you have is leaving these bolts in, and then you can just simply screw them in. That's, I think, in my opinion, that's a better option instead of sliding it in. So when you leave that in, what it does is basically these bolts tend to slide out when you're car topping your kayak, or you're moving a kayak, and if you leave those in, they'll slide out. So my solution to them is putting this little, I think this is from a weather strip, and actually jamming those bolts in. So this actually worked for me. So if you have a better suggestion or something that actually worked for you, leave a comment. This here, and the same thing I did here and in the back, and that actually keeps the bolt in place. I also have one right here so it doesn't slide out, so that actually keeps the bolt, and that's actually worked out for me. You can also, if you have one seat adjustment, you can also just lock this in place so that it doesn't move around, and just simply if you don't care about sliding your seat back and forth, you find one good setting on here and just leave it on there, and you can just lock this in place, and whenever you want to attach that seat, just screw in. Alright, let's move to number 3. Okay, so number 3 is the scupper hole. The scupper hole on these things are terrible. I actually have it in tight there. I'll show you how I did that. Even with my weight, I think it's around 170, and with what I have right now on the kayak, right? It's minimal stuff, just the standard stuff. With me on the kayak and minimal stuff, if you don't have this plugged, you'll have water coming in from underneath. So for the folks who commented in my in my video saying that why do you have water, if you plug this in, good. Right? If you have it tight, you won't get any water in. But if you get some water in this deck area, you'll end up with that water in there because it won't drain out, because the water is actually, with the kayak being so low, right? Kayak is super low, and especially in the center right here, it's very low, and once you put that weight, I'm not talking about heavy weight, I'm talking about just 170 pounds, and with minimal whatever you're taking with you. And like I said, I don't have much here. I would consider the standard stuff on my kayak. The water starts coming in. So I'm actually, I'm not comfortable taking this offshore. So people who want to take this offshore just want to make sure that you have good plugs in place. Test it before you take out. Make sure the water doesn't come in. And if you take, and if you do take this out, make sure you have a pump, hand pump with you, or a sponge, so that if you get any water inside, you can actually soak it up and squeeze it out, or hand pump it out. So, all right, now talking about the Scupper plugs, what I did is I actually put a thick layer of silicone all around it to make the top side thicker than the bottom side. So when you plug it in, it actually let me see, I can show you. See, if you plug it in, it actually goes in and it actually sits in really tight. That's why it was hard for me to actually put it out. It's easier to just buy Scupper, good quality Scupper plugs, but make sure you test them out, because these, or you could try this. All right, let's not waste time on this. Let's move on to number 4. All right, I think at this point I lost count. I think we're at number 5. So number 5 problem with the kayak I have is the amount of holes they put on this kayak. Man, they got holes everywhere. You see? They got holes here, holes here. I think everywhere they can, they could put holes. They put holes on the kayak. So not that I'm complaining about the freebies. There's a big issue with making number of holes on this kayak. You get, the kayaks, if you don't plug, or if you don't have this silicone, or if you don't have proper backing or anything like that, the water actually, the kayak actually starts taking water. And that has been the case with me. Every time I go, I actually get some water inside. See if I can focus. You see, I get some water inside the kayak, and I actually went and on my first and second outing, I was like, I don't like water sitting in my kayak, so I started putting liberal amounts of silicone all around here, everywhere. I thought I thought there was a gap around here. Everywhere I started putting some silicone around it to minimize that water, and I still see some water inside there. Not a biggie, but that's a problem. If that water keeps coming in, eventually your kayak is going to be unstable. That's why it's very important, if you're taking it offshore, make sure you have a pump with you. So thinking that this back storage is actually dry, I actually had my a GoPro camera. Oh, you can actually see some water in there now. I actually had my GoPro cameras in there, and they all got messed up because the kayak took some water in, and then it sat there at the bottom, and this was actually touching. This mesh was actually touching. See, you can see the water now. It was touching the bottom, and then all my extra spare batteries, GoPro batteries, got messed up. So that's number 5 for you. Now I'm going to number 6, but this is now where I'm nitpicking. But I'll just bring it, I'm just pointing it out to you. So not really a big deal once again, but this is now, I got to the point where I'm nitpicking everything. So hopefully this helps you out. All right, number 6. This is the anchor trolley, which was included, which actually it's not here anymore, but the one included, it actually, I don't know, to me it didn't serve a purpose because it was so hard to use it. It would get stuck. It was not very smooth. So I actually took it out and installed my own, and this is much better than what was included. So why do I hate it? Because it left me so many holes on the kayak. Yeah, once again pointing out that I don't like holes on my kayak. Alright, number 7. So I actually started seeing some rust back here. You can see it right around here. There's some rust. Once again, I don't think it's a big deal, but we'll see. Alright, so there's some rust here, and also some rust back here. See? I was thinking this would be stainless steel, but some reason I see some rust. Hopefully it's not a big deal. There you go. This actually brings me to another point. You know, the placement of this thing. You know, I don't really like it. It's right where, you know, your paddle sets. You can usually get a longer paddle, which I do have, but not the best fan of this placement right here. I would rather have it, you know, somewhere on the top right here, so it makes it easy. This actually comes in the way, so I don't like the placement. But once again, nitpicking. Alright, let's move to the last one. Alright, last thing I dislike about the kayak is the side handle. There's actually, I'm glad they included it, but actually, you know, I don't think they have this on the 10 footer. The Riot, they don't have this on the, so the 12 footer, the Mako 12, they have the side handle right here. So one thing, every time as you use this handle, I feel that this is going to break. And just the angle, that being on the top, it's not the best angle for it. I would rather have it right here. This actually makes it easier for you to carry your kayak sideways. You can easily lift it this way. This is just a weird angle to, have your handle on the top like this, but it works.